Hello, brothers, and welcome to Sigma Old Man Channel. The loudest room is often the most insecure one. Let that sit. Because while most people are busy screaming for attention, desperately juggling approval, trends, status, and likes, Sigma males are somewhere quiet, unbothered, and entirely uninterested. Here's a wild fact. A 2023 behavioral study showed that people spend an average of 3 hours a day trying to manage how others perceive them. That's 21 hours a week just performing. That's almost a part-time job. With no salary, no health insurance, and definitely no dignity. But Sigma males? They quit that circus a long time ago. While the world's out there chasing claps, they're mastering silence, clarity, and brutal independence. This video, we're pulling back the curtain on 20 things that literally everyone obsesses over, but Sigma males simply don't give a damn about. Not because they're rebels without a cause, but because they've decoded how fake and fragile those things really are. Brace yourself, this isn't about being edgy, it's about being free. And if you're not ready for some uncomfortable truths served with a side of savage honesty, you might want to click away now. Let's begin. Number 1, being the safe, kind of different. People love to say they support being different, but that only holds true when your difference is cute, marketable, or easy to understand. Society likes rebellion that fits in a t-shirt slogan, not the kind that actually challenges how people think or behave. Sigma males don't play that game. They don't water themselves down to be more palatable, and they sure as hell don't adjust their identity just to be more digestible to the masses. They walk around with unfiltered minds and unapproved truths, and that makes people uncomfortable fast. Most people are okay with you being unique as long as it doesn't disrupt the norm too much. Be quirky, but still follow the rules. Be bold, but don't challenge the system. Sigma males, they rip that fake acceptance apart. They speak and act from a place that's raw and deeply authentic, not curated for applause. And because of that, they're often labeled as too much, intense, or weird, not because they're wrong, but because they refuse to be predictable. The funny thing is, Sigma males aren't trying to shock anyone. They're not aiming to offend or rebel just for fun. They just don't edit themselves for your comfort. If they believe in something, they'll stand by it, even if it's unpopular, inconvenient, or makes the whole room fall silent. That kind of unapologetic self-possession makes people either obsessed with them or threatened by them. There's rarely an in-between. This refusal to be the safe version of different costs them opportunities, friendships, even relationships. But they'd rather be left alone than be surrounded by people who only like a watered-down version of who they are. They won't shrink so others can feel tall. And they're okay being the outsider if it means keeping their soul intact. So while the world performs authenticity like it's a talent show, Sigma males live it without permission, filters, or disclaimers. And that's what really separates them. They don't just act different, they are different. And they're done apologizing for it. Number 2, the dating script. The dating world has turned into a badly written reality show. There's a script everyone's following: dinner dates with forced charm, empty compliments recycled from YouTube advice videos, strategic replies crafted like war tactics. Most guys play the game hoping to win approval. Sigma males don't even open the playbook. They don't chase, they don't audition, and they sure don't perform. They walk into every connection like a human lie detector, quiet, composed, and watching everything. To most women, a Sigma male can feel like a dating glitch. He's not giving the usual sweet talk or emojis. He's not rushing to prove his worth, and that throws people off. But here's the twist. He's not uninterested, he's just filtering. He's not here for attention, he's looking for substance. If your energy screams, "Look at me," he's already mentally walking out the door. He can spot ego, neediness, manipulation, or emotional immaturity faster than you can say red flag. And it's not because he's cold, it's because he values his peace more than your approval. If a woman brings real depth, emotional maturity, curiosity, and a mind that doesn't just regurgitate trends, he sees it instantly. That's when he actually starts showing up. But if she brings drama, shallow self-obsession, or the play hard to get act, she gets silently archived. No drama, no argument, just gone. Sigma males treat dating like intel gathering. They're not trying to be liked. They're trying to understand who you really are beneath the social mask. They're not impressed by your highlight reel. And they're not fooled by how many guys chase you. What matters is your mind, your energy, and whether you're real when no one's watching. So when most people are trying to date in high-definition filters and flirtation algorithms, Sigma males date like philosophers with a sniper's aim. And if you're not bringing depth, honesty, and self-awareness, you're not getting ghosted. You're getting erased before you even knew there was a test. Number 3, image engineering. The world today is obsessed with surface-level branding. Everyone's editing themselves, tweaking the hairline, filtering their selfies, choosing outfits not based on comfort or expression, but on how main character it'll look on social media. Identity has turned into a performance, and most people are just actors trying to get cast in someone else's fantasy. Sigma males, they don't play that role. They don't sculpt themselves for approval or obsess over being seen. If anything, they'd rather be underestimated and then flip the script when it matters most. While the average person is busy building a highlight reel version of themselves, Sigma males are sharpening their mind, their boundaries, and their ability to move silently. They aren't against looking good, but looking good is a side effect, not the goal. They don't weaponize their appearance to gain clout. They don't decorate themselves to be consumed. They refine themselves for power, not prettiness. What throws people off is how little Sigmas care about being perceived. They can walk into a room with zero flash and still own the atmosphere. Why? Because their aura isn't rooted in aesthetics, it's rooted in depth. Confidence that doesn't need decorating, presence that doesn't need polishing. They don't chase attraction. Attraction tends to chase them, not because they're trying, but because not trying is the ultimate flex in a world addicted to performance. Even more so, they're immune to the insecurity trap. If you try to insult their appearance, you'll find out fast. They don't base their worth on physical appeal. You can't shake someone who doesn't anchor their identity in the mirror. Their sense of self is built on discipline, insight, and mental sharpness, not jaw lines and lighting angles. Sigma males have cracked a truth that most people run from. Looking good might get you attention, but being untouchable gets you respect. And that's what they're after. Not followers, not compliments, not digital applause, just unshakable personal power. And that never needs a filter. Number 4, the fear of boredom. Most people treat boredom like a disease. The second things go quiet, they scramble, check their phones, open 10 tabs, scroll mindlessly, blast music, text someone they don't even like. It's almost like silence makes them confront a version of themselves they don't want to deal with. Sigma males are wired differently. Stillness doesn't scare them, it sharpens them. While others panic in the quiet, they lean into it like it's sacred. Sigma males have a strange relationship with boredom. To them, it's not the absence of stimulation, it's the presence of clarity. That silence everyone avoids, that's where they think. That's where they observe patterns no one else sees. That's where their strategy forms. While most people are busy chasing distractions to fill their heads, Sigma males are emptying theirs to see what's actually worth their time. Stillness isn't wasted time, it's where they download the raw data of life. And this makes them dangerous in a world that rewards reaction over reflection. Everyone wants to be fast. First to react, first to post, first to panic. Sigma males are the opposite. They marinate in silence. They let boredom stretch out like a mental battlefield, because that boredom reveals what matters and what's just noise. It's also why they don't get caught in addictive behavior loops. Most people fill their days with junk dopamine, endless scrolling, shallow conversations, sensory overload. Sigma males can sit alone for hours without needing any of it. They don't crave external input to feel alive. Their inner world is richer than most people's social lives. They've trained their minds to thrive in solitude, and that makes them immune to manipulation through distraction. To them, boredom isn't a void, it's a forge, a space where ideas grow, where instincts get sharper, where plans form without pressure. And if you're uncomfortable in your own silence, you'll always be a puppet of the noise. Sigma males know this. That's why they don't fear boredom. They weaponize it. While the world fidgets, they focus. While others itch for stimulation, they sit back and study. And by the time everyone else is reacting, the Sigma's already 10 steps ahead, silent, steady, and unstoppable. Number 5, the cult of hustle culture. Hustle culture has become a weird religion. People worship exhaustion like it's a sign of greatness. If you're not sleep-deprived, overbooked, and bragging about working 80-hour weeks, society makes you feel lazy. But here's the brutal truth. Most of that noise is just performative suffering. It's not productivity, it's addiction to being seen as productive. Sigma males don't play that game. They're allergic to the performative grind. They don't chase approval through burnout, and they definitely don't wear exhaustion like it's some kind of trophy. Sigma males work with surgical focus, no flexing, no hash rise and grind slogans, just quiet, deliberate moves. They value their time and energy too much to waste it proving how busy they are. They're not trying to impress anyone with all-nighters and caffeine-fueled breakdowns. They'd rather get 5 things done with precision than rush through 50 just to say they did. Efficiency beats glorified suffering every time, and that's what throws people off. While everyone else is broadcasting their grind on social media, posting to prove they're doing something, Sigma males are doing the real work in silence. You won't see them updating their life every 10 minutes. You won't hear them brag about how booked and busy they are. But when they drop results, it's surgical. No fluff, just impact. They also know this truth most people avoid. Constant hustle doesn't always mean growth. Sometimes it just means you're running in circles faster. Sigma males aren't addicted to motion, they're addicted to momentum. They pause when they need to. They disappear to recharge. They don't fear rest. They use it to reload. And that's why they last longer. While hustle junkies burn out trying to be everything all at once, Sigmas move quietly, intentionally, and outlast the noise. They've figured out that building something meaningful doesn't require self-destruction. It requires discipline, vision, and silence. So while others chase recognition through chaos, Sigma males stay in the shadows, building something you'll only hear about when it's finished, and too big to ignore. Number 6, being the fun one in the group chat. Most people treat group chats like a mini stage. They're constantly dropping jokes, memes, hot takes, anything to stay relevant, liked, and noticed. There's this quiet panic under the surface, the fear of being forgotten if they're not actively performing in the chat. But Sigma males, they'd let that group chat die a slow, awkward death without losing a single hour of sleep. The need to be the fun one, the entertainer, the glue that keeps everyone laughing, it just doesn't register with them. They don't measure their social worth by how many LOLs they rack up. For Sigmas, the group chat is just noise unless it has purpose. They're not wired to check in constantly just to be seen. They'll read what they need, reply if it's meaningful, and leave the rest on read. Not out of arrogance, but because they don't need digital validation to feel like they belong. While most people treat silence like social suicide, Sigmas find it refreshing. They're not trying to dominate the conversation. They're watching who actually says something worth their time. And when they do speak, it's not for clout. It's to shift the conversation into something real, or at least clever enough to cut through the fluff. But they'll never be the guy spamming emojis just to stay visible. That's not communication, that's digital tap dancing. Sigmas would rather be the quiet ghost in the chat who only drops in with laser-accurate observations, then disappears for weeks. No good mornings, no fake energy, no performance. They know that in most group dynamics there's an unspoken need to perform, to be likable, relatable, or entertaining. Sigma males aren't interested in any of that. They don't fear being forgotten because they've already detached from the illusion that attention equals value. If you vibe with them, great. If not, they're not adjusting their personality to keep a seat at the table. And here's the truth. In a room full of people trying to be loud, the quietest one always stands out, not by force, but by contrast. That's the Sigma way. No noise, no competition, just presence so calm it makes everyone else question why they're trying so hard. Number 7, the trend flu. Trends spread like viruses now. One moment it's a slang word, the next it's a fashion wave, then a moral outrage. People jump from one to the next like it's a sport, terrified of falling behind or worse, being irrelevant. The language changes every week, the aesthetic rules shift every season, and everyone's pretending they care about the latest hot-button issue just long enough to farm likes and move on. Sigma males, they're immune to that madness. Not resistant, immune. They don't shapeshift to fit what's hot right now. They don't adjust their vocabulary because a meme made it popular. They don't recycle the trending personality traits just to blend in. Sigma males evolve, sure, but it's internal, strategic, and slow. They move by self-design, not social momentum. What's cool today means nothing to someone who doesn't need the crowd to confirm their value. While most people are busy becoming walking Pinterest boards of whatever's in, Sigma males are fine, sticking out like a sore thumb. They know that blindly following trends is just fast food for the ego, momentarily satisfying, ultimately hollow. They've seen too many people become unrecognizable versions of themselves just to fit into digital cliques. And the irony? Those same cliques move on to the next thing, leaving the chameleons behind, confused and burned out. Sigma males prefer to build something timeless, even if it's not trendy. They'd rather look off for a while than fake it for applause. They're often misunderstood because their rhythm doesn't match the crowd, but that's the point. They've rejected the idea that identity should be updated like an app every week. Their mindset is more, if it works, if it's real, and if it's mine, I'm keeping it. They don't need to join every moral panic or viral wave to feel relevant. Their relevance comes from consistency, clarity, and purpose. While everyone's caught up in what's next, Sigmas are focused on what's true. And in a world addicted to trends, truth is the rarest and most powerful currency of all. Number 8, status through stuff. Most people treat material things like social armor, the right watch, the right shoes, the right car. It's all one big performance of look at me, I matter. They think if they wear enough status symbols, they'll be taken seriously. But here's what Sigma males know that most people don't. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. You can't buy presents. You either have it or you don't, and no label can fake that. Sigma males are the type to walk into a room wearing something completely unremarkable. No drip, no shine, just clean, comfortable, and functional. And yet somehow they still become the most magnetic person in the room. Because it's not about what's on them. It's about what's in them. Quiet confidence, self-possession, and that energy that says, I don't need to prove anything to you. They don't play the status game because they see through it. They've watched people spend fortunes trying to impress people they don't even like. They've seen grown adults compete over brands like kids fighting over toys. Sigma males would rather invest in their mind, their freedom, and their purpose than some overpriced accessory that screams insecurity in bold font. Even funnier, most people won't admit how empty the stuff-chasing game really is. They'll justify it, say they deserve it, or that it's just their style. But deep down, a lot of that spending is just about keeping up appearances. Sigma males skip that lesson. They don't need a car to feel powerful. They don't need a suit to feel sharp. Their self-worth isn't tied to packaging. It's built from internal dominance, not external decoration. This is why they unsettle people. When someone walks in with no visible flex but still commands attention, it breaks the script. Everyone else is trying to buy what a Sigma already has naturally. Presence, clarity, and the ability to walk away from validation games without flinching. So while the world's flexing to be noticed, Sigma males are busy being unforgettable. Not because of what they wear, but because of who they are when everything is stripped away. Number 9, the metrics of masculinity. Masculinity has been turned into a scoreboard. How much do you lift? How many women have you been with? How fat is your wallet? It's all become a numbers game, like being a man is something you prove with statistics. But Sigma males don't play that game, and frankly, they find it laughable. They've detached themselves from the shallow math that society uses to measure male worth. Not because they can't compete, because they know the scoreboard is rigged, hollow, and mostly built to keep men insecure. Bench press numbers don't impress them. They respect strength, sure, but not when it's used to feed ego or intimidate others. A Sigma would rather have quiet discipline than loud muscles. As for body count, that's not proof of manhood. It's often just evidence of emotional emptiness. Sigma males aren't chasing conquests. They're scanning for connection, for depth, for substance. And if that means being selective, even celibate at times, so be it. They're not hunting trophies, they're building empires inside their minds. Then there's the obsession with the bank account. Society says the more money you make, the more of a man you are. But Sigma males don't crave wealth for display. They value freedom over flash. To them, money is a tool, not a personality. They'd rather earn just enough to live on their terms than be rich and chained to a soul-sucking grind for status points. Sigma masculinity is built differently. It's not loud, aggressive, or fueled by comparison. It's internal. It's about mastery of their impulses, thoughts, emotions, and time. It's about having a mind so sharp that no external approval can sway it. It's about self-possession, solitude, and not needing anyone to tell them they're enough. That's real power. That's the kind of masculinity that doesn't get loud, but still shakes the room. And what threatens people the most? You can't measure it. There's no stat sheet, no number, no formula. Sigma males walk through the world as a quiet reminder that real masculinity isn't built in the gym, in the bedroom, or in a bank. It's built in silence, in discipline, and in not giving a damn about who's watching. They don't follow metrics. They are the standard. Number 10, the soft prison of niceness. Niceness has become a survival tactic. People fake smile through conversations they hate, laugh at jokes they don't find funny, and keep up connections that feel more like emotional debt than real friendship, all just to avoid rocking the boat. Be nice is code for don't make people uncomfortable, even if it means betraying your own instincts. But Sigma males don't play that role. They're not out here looking to be rude, but they're sure as hell not sacrificing their authenticity just to make other people feel good about shallow relationships. They don't do fake bonding. If the vibe is off, they won't force it. If the connection is hollow, they won't pretend it's deep. They don't keep people around out of politeness. They either value you or they don't. There's no middle ground filled with empty words and guilt-driven loyalty. If a situation feels fake, they exit, quietly, quickly, and permanently. No dramatic speeches, no guilt-tripping, just gone. Most people would rather stay in the soft prison of niceness than face the discomfort of honesty. They're terrified of being labeled rude, antisocial, or difficult. Sigma males don't care about those labels. They care about energy, integrity, and truth. And if someone's feelings get bruised because they won't play the social dance of fake politeness, that's not their problem. What makes this unnerving to others is that Sigmas operate without the social cushion most people rely on. They won't validate your insecurities just to make you like them. They won't laugh at your weak attempt at control. They won't entertain conversations that don't serve a purpose. That calm detachment makes people uncomfortable because it exposes how much of our daily lives are built on fake pleasantness and social survival tactics. But here's the thing. Sigma males aren't heartless. They just believe respect means telling the truth, even if it's silent. They'd rather have one brutally honest connection than 10 sugar-coated fakes. And they don't owe anyone their time, their energy, or their emotional labor just because it's nicer to stay. So while everyone else is performing niceness to keep the peace, Sigma males are out there choosing peace by walking away. Not with bitterness, not with a grudge, just with clarity. Number 11, the performance of morality. In today's world, morality has become a stage play. People parade their values like fashion accessories, wearing causes like outfits, posting about justice only when it's trending, and performing empathy just long enough to get likes or avoid cancellation. It's not about doing the right thing anymore. It's about looking like you are. That's the game most people are playing. But Sigma males, they've opted out of the entire performance. They don't advertise their ethics, and they definitely don't moral flex for digital applause. You won't see a Sigma male sharing a perfectly crafted social media post about a crisis just to stay relevant. You won't catch him reciting the popular opinion just because it's safe. He does what he believes is right, not what earns him social points, and he does it quietly. No spotlight, no soapbox. He doesn't need to be seen doing good to feel good about himself. That's what sets him apart. Most people treat morality like a costume, something you wear when the cameras are on. Sigma males treat it like a compass, something that guides you even when no one's watching. They don't scream their beliefs from the rooftops because they're too busy living them. They'll help someone without recording it. They'll stand against something without turning it into a PR move. And they don't care if their silence gets misread, because their values aren't up for public approval. They also see through the fakeness in others. The ones who virtue signal loudly, then act shady behind the scenes. The ones who preach kindness but gossip relentlessly. Sigma males are hyper-aware of this hypocrisy, and that's exactly why they choose not to play the game. They'll call out injustice, but they'll do it with action, not hashtags. They'll walk away from fake morality, not argue with it. What unsettles people most is that Sigma morality isn't for sale. It's not shaped by public opinion or fear of backlash. It's internal, disciplined, and brutally consistent. And because it isn't performative, it's powerful. You may not always know where a Sigma male stands at first, but when you do, you can be sure it's real. No show, no script, no need to prove anything. Just action backed by principle, not performance. Number 12, office politics and social gymnastics. Corporate environments are often less about talent and more about tactics. Who you flatter, how well you fake enthusiasm, how you navigate the egos in the room, all of it matters more than actual skill. Success becomes a game of social gymnastics. Kiss the right asses. Avoid offending the wrong ones. Play dumb when needed and make sure you laugh at the boss's joke, even if it's painfully unfunny. Sigma males? They'd rather chew glass than fake laugh their way to the top. They don't climb the corporate ladder. They either build their own or walk away from the structure entirely. Sigma males aren't wired for manipulation or politics. Their brains reject anything that feels dishonest, inefficient, or performative. They don't schmooze, they don't gossip, and they don't inflate their achievements for attention. And because they don't play the political game, they're often seen as a threat. Not because they're aggressive, but because they can't be controlled. They do the work, they do it well, and they don't care if you don't clap. That kind of indifference terrifies a system built on ego strokes and groupthink. They're the guy in the meeting who stays quiet until they've actually got something worth saying. And when they say it, it cuts through the fluff like a scalpel. No fake optimism, no pandering, just raw clarity. And that makes people nervous because the corporate world thrives on keeping things blurry. Sigma males bring too much sharpness into rooms designed for illusion. When they realize the ladder isn't built for truth-tellers, they don't waste time fighting for promotions or pretending to belong. They quietly pivot. They start building something else, a business, a brand, a skill stack so strong they never need to beg for a raise again. If necessary, they'll burn the whole damn tower down and start from scratch, because to them, freedom matters more than prestige. Self-respect over a corner office, autonomy over applause. What most people chase in the corporate world, status, titles, visibility, Sigma males walk away from with zero regret. Not because they can't win the game, but because they see how rigged, soul-sucking, and ultimately hollow it really is. While everyone else is fighting for a seat at a table that was never meant for them, Sigma males are busy carving out their own space, on their own terms, with no fake handshakes required. Most people are trapped in invisible cages, begging to be seen, chasing applause, performing roles that were never meant for them. They dress up for attention, hustle for validation, talk loud to seem relevant, and bend until they break just to fit into systems that don't even care if they collapse. But Sigma males, they opted out of that broken blueprint a long time ago. Not to be edgy, not to be rebels, but because they saw the truth. Most of what people chase is empty. Throughout everything we've explored, from fake morality and trend addiction to group chat politics and corporate illusion, one thing becomes crystal clear. Sigma males are not just different. They're operating on a completely separate frequency. They don't need your recognition, your acceptance, or your rules. They don't need to be labeled fun, masculine, moral, or successful by society's constantly changing scoreboard. They've built their own metrics, silent, personal, unshakable. While the world races to be liked, they build. While others post, perform, and pretend, they refine, observe, and master. They don't move to impress. They move with intention. That's why their presence hits harder than volume. That's why their silence speaks louder than most people's screaming. Being a Sigma male is not about being cold or arrogant. It's about being sovereign. It's about choosing depth over drama, solitude over performance, and truth over popularity. It's about refusing to play a rigged game and instead mastering yourself so completely that you become the game, quietly, relentlessly, without asking for permission. So if you're watching this and you've always felt like the outsider, like you were never wired for the noise, like peace meant more to you than popularity, you're not broken. You might just be a Sigma, and the world will never fully understand you, but it will never forget you either. If this video spoke to you, really spoke to you, like you felt it in your gut, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment below and let the world know that you're not here to perform, you're here to evolve, quietly, powerfully, and on your own terms. If this video lit a fire in you, if it made you nod, smirk, or feel just a little more seen in a world that constantly misunderstands depth, then don't just scroll away. Hit that subscribe button and become part of something that actually respects thinking differently. Like the video, to let the algorithm know real content still matters. Drop a comment and tell us which part hit the hardest. We actually read them. And if you know someone who's quietly powerful, unapologetically themselves, or just tired of the noise, share this with them. This isn't just another channel. This is a space for the ones who move in silence, question everything, and refuse to fake it. If that's you, welcome home.